I'm Blake. I'm 25 years old and I'm from Kansas City, Missouri. I grew up in a fairly normal home, single mom, three little sisters, uh, did well in school, and never really gotten into any trouble when I was younger. My biological father was never in the picture, so growing up I did have feelings of feeling a little bit abandoned and kind of wondering if there was something wrong with me that led to that. But growing up, I did well in school. I was in advanced classes and always got really good grades right until about the time I hit high school, and I changed my group of friends, and with the change in friends came drugs being introduced. I started with pot like most teenagers do, but very quickly I got into opiates, and that's where things spiraled out of control. It really didn't take me long to start having trouble with the drugs. I entered my first treatment center at 16, spent 42 days there, but did not complete successfully. And I spent the next 10 years in and out of treatment centers, sober living houses, never really having much luck, always finding myself relapsing or using while I was in treatment. I got to the point where I was staying in a sober living facility in Kansas City, and I lost two loved ones. My grandpa and my grandma passed about 4 months apart, and I went off the deep end using. I was found out and kicked out, and that's when I ended up actually being on the streets of Kansas City. I was staying at the Kansas City Rescue Mission and getting kicked out every morning at 6 o'clock. Usually I just tried to find somewhere to hang out until I could go to the library, but some mornings it ended up me like sleeping on a pile of bricks in an alley because I knew no police were going to come by there, and it was somewhere I could be safe. A friend of mine is a graduate of the program, and he was actually my sponsor for a little bit back home. He knew my situation, knew I wasn't doing well, and got a hold of me and said, "How'd you feel about spending a year in Florida?" I really didn't know what to expect, but I was hopeless. I really thought there was no chance of me ever changing my life or things getting any better, but he was willing to pay for the plane ticket, so I said yes. I came down to Justin's place, very sick from the drugs coming off of them, going through withdrawal, and really scared about being away from home. I'd never really been far from Kansas City. But I got into the program and was immediately met with a lot of love and a lot of support from the staff. I got to know the group of brothers that I'd be with the whole year at MoTrack, and what really kind of changed things was sitting in a class with one of the instructors who explained the difference between resignation and surrender. And he made me realize that for years I had been resigned to being an addict and to my fate being an addict, but through finding hope in the success of other people in recovery, that I could surrender that disease. And that's when I got to start reading the Bible and actually started to know Jesus Christ as my personal Savior. I came to the program having previously removed all my teeth because they were a pretty broken mess, and I didn't think there was any chance of saving them. It was going to cost too much money. But in Mod 3 of the program, we went to a dental event, and it didn't look like they were going to be able to do anything for me. And at the last second, this dentist pulls me aside, takes a look at my mouth, and says, "Hold on a minute." And he puts some molds in my mouth and goes, "Tomorrow, come back. We'll have a full set of teeth for you." And I was in awe, but I came back the next day, and I've had these teeth ever since, and that changed everything for me. I couldn't smile, I couldn't laugh. I'm a musician who likes to play guitar and sing, and I couldn't really do that anymore. And overnight, everything was different. I could sing, I could smile, I could talk to people with confidence. I played music the whole time I was in the program, started learning praise and worship songs. I got involved in playing at different churches, and when the time came, I joined the recovery team in Mod 8, And the recovery team grew me a lot. It taught me a lot about not only being responsible for myself, but for others, and the importance of being someone that a person can lean on and being a source of support for others when I so desperately needed the support in the first place. I did 6 months on the recovery team and just got hired by St. Matthew's House as their Harvest Run driver. And so every day I wake up and I drive a van around town, and I get to be the guy who meets donors, who gets to pick up the food that supplies the meals for the shelter and the community in general. So it's pretty awesome to know that each box I pick up and load in that van is going to feed a family. Like, I can see that as I do it. I think back a lot on where I was at a year ago today, and it just amazes me the kind of work that God is capable of doing in my life. If you were to ask me then that my life would be like this now, there's no way I would have believed that. My hope for the future is to be able to use my gift for music to be of service to others. My two favorite things seem to be giving back to others and playing music, especially praise and worship. So an opportunity to serve others and do it with music would be my greatest dream. There have been so many people who have done so much for me in this past year, and they've been placed in my life by God, and I definitely understand and believe that, and I'm thankful for it.